ज्योति जी आप स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं।
Rohit sir, am I audible?
यस मैम, बट आपका वीडियो
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
हाँ मैम, अब आपका वीडियो।
Well said by M.S. Swaminathan, father of Green Revolution, that
वीडियो नहीं दिख रहा है।
investment in agriculture.
यस
So right now is my video.
यस मैम, आप स्टार्ट करिए।
Well said by M.S. Swaminathan, father of Green Revolution, that investment in agriculture are the best weapon against hunger and poverty, and they have made life better for billions of people. Hello and a very warm good evening to one and all present here. On the behalf of AgriMeet Foundation and CSJMU University Kanpur, I welcome all the organizers, co-organizers, executive board members, and our worthy participants to the domain of 1-month international training cum certificate course on precision agriculture, farming with new perspective, which is organized by CSGMU Kanpur, ICR Atari Kanpur in collaboration with ICRISET Hyderabad, IIMR Hyderabad, IIPR Kanpur, CISH Lucknow, Central Agriculture University, CSA UAT Kanpur, SQUAS Jammu and Kashmir, with the whole support from AgriMeet Foundation, who work effortlessly for making the country, students and professors aware regarding the technology which is working nowadays. To be the farmer is to be a student forever. For everyday learning brings something new. Yesterday we have an introductory session where we have lot of speakers from national and international repute which describe about how precision agriculture would be helpful to the farmers, how new technology would be benefiting the scientists and farming community for increasing the yield as well as profitability. So it's my privilege to welcome today's guest speaker, Dr. Sunita Chaudhary ma'am, an agriculture scientist in system analysis for climate. How new technology? Today's guest speaker, Dr. Sunita Chaudhary ma'am, an agriculture scientist in system analysis for climate. How new technology? Today's guest speaker, Dr. Sunita. It's my privilege to welcome today's guest speaker, Dr. Sunita Chaudhary ma'am, an agriculture scientist in system analysis for climate smart agriculture at ICRISET Hyderabad. I would like to say that ICRISET is also one of the main collaborators in our training, and ma'am has helped us in various activities related to precision agriculture. She did her master's in plant breeding and genetics from Chaudhary Charan Singh Haryana Agriculture University, Hisar. She did her PhD from ICRISET Hyderabad and postdoctorate from North Carolina State University, USA. During her postdoctorate program, she worked significantly in release of 17 drought-tolerant maize varieties called Aquamac. She worked toward abiotic stress adoption with special focus on translating the knowledge to the pupil. I would like to say ma'am has worked a lot during her postdoctorate and during her work at ICRISAT on drone technology and other artificial intelligence equipment. So I would welcome ma'am to deliver her lecture and make our audience as well as all the participants aware how the technology like drone, artificial intelligence, will be helpful to the farmer in adoption and increasing the income as well as profitability on the farmer front. So, ma'am, I welcome you for the today's session lecture.
Thank you, Jyoti, and good evening to everyone. My name is Sunita Chaudhary. I'm a scientist at ICRISAT for System Analysis for Climate Smart Agriculture. We do a lot of work on physiology. By training, I'm a physiologist, but over time, we have transformed our roles into more on technology, phenotyping, sensor, artificial intelligence. So I would like to start my presentation without wasting much time. If anyone can confirm if they can see my screen, like the front presentation screen.
Perfectly
Yes,
visible.
ma'am.
Perfectly visible.
And it's in full screen, or it's just a PPT?
Full screen, madam. Full screen.
Okay, thank you. So little bit I would like to introduce about ICRISAT. Many of you might be aware of this. Our country has a lot of national research centers, national research institutes and academia. But apart from that, we are also lucky to have one of the international research organization, which is part of the consultative group of international agriculture research. And it is mostly funded by World Bank, United Nations developing programs, and many other donors like Bill Gates, USAID, UK programs. So it's run on international level, connecting the national channels. So one of the mission vision for this food security and resilient for dryland tropics. So ICRISAT is mostly meant for semi-arid tropics where the rainfall is below 800. We have few mandates because all the CGIAR centers run with some of the mandate crops, and then they also work towards their vision for everything. So in drylands, ICRISAT, apart from working towards their goal and vision, they also work on 6 of the mandate crops. That is chickpea, pigeon pea, groundnut, sorghum, pearl millet, and finger millet. Finger millet is recently added. Apart from finger millet, all small millets are also our domain. There is the largest collection of germplasm from Asia and Africa continent at ICRISAT, which has been maintained by the Gene Bank, and it is also provided to all the national and international researchers and agri-related sectors on no-cost basis on sharing. So that was the agenda of ICRISAT, also to preserve the germplasm. ICRISAT is not alone. CGIAR has 15 other research centers which are meant for different crops and different purposes, like CIMET work with wheat and maize. Recently, they have included some of the other dryland crops also, CIP for potatoes, ERI for rice, many other you might be already aware. So I will not elaborate much on this. Coming back to directly on our topic. So what is precision agriculture? Like why this term is required and why we are so much emphasizing on this precision agriculture, why we need to run the training also, and many other things like why we are emphasizing. So if we go by definition, precision agriculture is a technology-enabled approach for farming management that observes, measure, and analyze the needs of the individual fields and crops. The goal of precision agriculture is to increase the efficiency, productivity, reduce the input cost, and improve the environmental sustainability. So this is something above the traditional cultivation, also above the mechanization of the agriculture, and also above the predictive agriculture. So you have to, if it is a training, I would like to take time to elaborate this small differences, so it is very clear to you that precision agriculture, why it has been emphasized and why it has been generated. So this is, if I have to say, your best bet is to improve the farm productivity, that is called precision agriculture. Like in the farm productivity, whatever channels are there, you take your effort for each channel, for each component, so that you can minimize the input cost and still increase the efficiency. There is no blanket rule for agriculture. There is no blanket guidelines now for agriculture because environment is so variable. If we follow the blanket generic rules for agriculture, probably we'll be not able to harvest the maximum input out of this. So coming back to a little bit of history, I will not bore with the history, but it's not a new term. It has been evolved since the time of launch of the satellite and global positioning system. So it is as old as our GPS system, something like 1950 to 60, it has been generated. And then 1980 to 90, it is little bit, people get aware of this, this adoption little bit started. So it started picking up from 1980s. 2000 onwards, it has been extended, widened, and many roles have come. So two main pillars, if I have to define, it is like technology and data management. One is like sensor, drones, autonomous vehicles, all this mechanization technology system comes under precision agriculture, and also the data management and analysis tool. In my later slide, I will emphasize why it is so important. So before we go in details of precision agriculture, as I repeated myself twice that it is why it is so important. So coming back here, so somewhere in 1930s, first of the agriculture revolution, we can count or we can iterate it, that where little bit mechanization has started in agriculture. Before that, it was truly manual, where the target was very minimum. The farmer, if they can produce enough for, apart from themselves, another 26 people, and that will be enough to feed the world. But later, when green revolution came, with genetically modified crops and other farm practices, two of the things were merged very intelligently that caused a very, very drastic change. And farmers were able to feed more than what was targeted, like 5 times or 10 times of the target. So that has caused a very big change in Indian agriculture and also in world agriculture. Now we are about to strike another revolution. This can happen somewhere between 2030 to 50. And the pressure is because of the increasing population, where we need, and decreasing the land, we need to double the current level of production to feed the world. So what will be the main component in that? And precision agriculture will be main part of this, where the agriculture drones, some people are predicting, will going to be very highly revolutionized and play important role in next revolution. So this will be the somewhere picture of this advanced precision agriculture. If we succeed in all the way, it will look like this, where all the farm mechanism machineries will be well connected. There will be IoT, there will be data management system, there will be very customized recommendation for each field. There will be plenty of data and information about every small unit of the land available in the country. And the crop diversification, many things will be part of that. But this is something we are imagining, like is a ideal type, but to reach there, there is a distance, and we have to beat the distance, and we have to also beat the technology and data information on this. So main pillar of precision agriculture will be big data, advanced analytics capabilities. We have to develop our advanced analytics capabilities so that we can provide the more grounded data, more close to each localized system in the country. And also robotics, which means the technology. So some of the example, if I have to start my precision agriculture experience, like how it is different from traditional cultivation. So in traditional cultivation, we say farmers to apply some amount of pesticide for if some kind of pest and disease infection is there, fertilizers, irrigation, there is a generic recommended dose for everything, and prescribed time, frequency, everything. This is the flowering time where you have to give the basal top dressing, all those recommendations as per standard guidelines. But in precision agriculture, it will be very optimized input for variable rate of application. When all the environment is not same, soils are not same, crop is not same, then providing a generic guidelines for agriculture is also not fair on farmer parts. So precision agriculture is going to bring this kind of changes, and these changes will be not just based on the theoretical or hypothetical changes, but it will be based on the data, spatial data, which has been collected from GIS, remote sensing, or GPS system. Different kind of data enrichment program is going on, analytics is going on, and very soon, very high resolution data will be available where we can know what are the environments, what are the type of soils, what are the crops beneficial for this environment. This all information will be very grounded and very available at easy access for to improve the agriculture. This will be very much part of the precision agriculture. So coming back to one of the example I will put here. So you can see this I have taken from Telangana because ICRISAT is based on Hyderabad, and some of the districts of Telangana we have collected. So if you see the nitrogen fertilizer consumption on the left side of first graph, you see there is a continuous increase in the application. So farmers are putting a lot of fertilizer in their field. But if we see the production, it's not improving. Many crops, it has been stagnant or it is decreasing. Many other things are there. And the reason is from here. Some of the modeling exercise with lot of simulation, permutation, and combination, we have developed this kind of all analysis. There you can see the farmer practices on x-axis, and on y-axis the yield differences from farmer practices and standard optimum standards. And you see if the environment is for 500 kg per hectare production, even though if you put extra nitrogen, it is not going to give any yield advantage. Similarly for 1000 and similarly for 1500. But if your environment is above 2000 kg per hectare, if your input conditions are, or if your environment is productive, then you can have the benefits. So whatever extra fertilizer is added is a waste. This you can reduce, and you can also minimize the input cost for farm. So this kind of practices. So dear audience, this data is not just coming from one of the database. Behind this, there is a lot of analytics involved, and that I'm going to emphasize on that yield is combination of your genetics, your environment, and also the management practices. It's a combination of this. Neither the genetics can provide a consistently high yield, neither the environment, neither the management. This combination, that's the reason same genetics perform brilliant at some environment and collapse in some environment, because environment factor play important role. Similarly, the management practices, if it is planted in high density, low density, planting window, fertilizer application, disease and pest control, if that has been managed differently, your yield is also going to be very different, even though the genetics is same. So this is a complexity with Indian agriculture, not Indian, everywhere agriculture. But how we can turn this complexity into opportunity? There is a bigger scope, and that named as a precision agriculture. So if I have to go a little bit back, how this information is coming. So we do kind of modeling, crop modeling, where we take different kind of data, environment data, soil data, production data, district level data, many other metadata are taken, and different kind of modeling exercises are done. And then you define how your environment look like. So this is just a example of Rabi sorghum in India, and you can see for each district. So the district which is green, it is highly productive environment, and district which is yellow and very faded yellow is low productive districts. So this has come from based on all this coefficient, crop coefficient. We also we parameterize different crop coefficient. There is 23 crop coefficient based on that it has been run. And then you also see what are the stress scenarios, because without considering biotic and abiotic stress scenarios, we don't know that even though the environment is productive, but if there is some kind of stress, for certain extent we can predict the environmental stress, abiotic, but biotic stresses is hard to predict. Sometimes some disease, some kind of disease is very outbreak, and sometimes there is another kind. So without considering all of them, we don't know how productive is your environment. So we have to see, we also study all those kind of factors. And then we try to optimize what are the yield gaps and what are the major reason for those yield gaps in this low productive environment. After knowing all these reasons, then we combine the management practices. If environment is of this kind, what kind of management practices are required? And then this kind of data comes out of that. So on your right down graph, you are seeing the red and yellow and blue and light blue. These are the small homogeneous units which has more or less similar kind of environment. And if it is red, is low productive environment. If it is dark blue, it is high productive environment. So this kind of study is called crop modeling, and specifically it is called target population of environment. This is very, very important to identify the homogeneous units of the crop, and then breeding programs to target, if there are 5 type of homogeneous unit, target 1 for each, so that you provide the line, variety, or hybrid, whatever you are developing, which is more efficient in that environment, rather than developing something and not working for each environment, and adoption will decrease. So we have released thousands of variety for some crops, and adoption rate, if you see, 3%, 5%, 10% maximum. So to beat this kind of challenges, we need to know the environment, the production environment. So this exercise, very briefly I have kept it, but one of my colleague in 2nd June, he will be detailing out this kind of details. So after knowing all this information, we translate into some kind of tool so that it can be user friendly. So everybody is not a crop modeler and cannot understand. So this tool has been developed, and there is a link for this. You can also try for this. So this is just for Rabi sorghum, and you can see if you have planting sowing window. If you take early, in which environment you are going to harvest more. If you take high density of planting, in which environment you will going to have better yield benefit. Urea application, if you give higher doses, whether your environment, whether there will be any benefit or not. So this kind of playing you can do, you can see in those tools, and you can put these combinations and see if your district will have this kind of benefit, or your area or your research area or production area can have. So some of the example, crop duration. If I take a longer duration of crop, probably in coastal region, I can see there will be benefit, but on those dry region, it is going to cost me a penalty. So better I should choose a short duration crop, because there is a limited soil moisture available after rainy season in that environment. So this kind of earlier breeder use with their expertise and experience with over a year, they were having some idea, but now it has been transformed into a tool where everybody can use it and make it make it their system or their research more efficient. So this is the Rabi sorghum, what I was saying, TPE. So it has been after all these exercises, it has been categorized into 3 homogeneous units. So this red is the one environment which has one kind of environment and one kind of production system, yellow is another, and green is another. Probably green is the kind of high productive environment because of coastal region and soil profile is deeper and there is a high soil moisture availability for post-rainy soil. So this kind of tools can help you in more precise agriculture. One more example I will quote because this is a little bit complex and it's also a new science. I'm not sure everybody might be aware of this, but just giving the details of this. Pearl millet, another crop after sorghum, I will say. So pearl millet is grown in all these green areas of different state, and it is a very major crop of that. But over time, when we have studied last 20 years of data compared to last 60 years of data, you see now it has been restricted to only 62 districts. So 90% of production is only coming from 62 districts of the India. Second point, if I have to see what are the environments of this, so I can broadly characterize it as a 4 kind of environment where pearl millet is growing. And earlier it was named broadly A1, A and B zone, but now it has been reclassified because A1 zone is getting better. Except few of the districts, some of the districts has been reported continuously good rainfall. So that has not been under very dry conditions. So this kind of after a lot of different modeling exercises, you can see the PC, principal component analysis, and you can categorize that this is developing as a getting divided into 4 different kind of units. So it's just an example to know that environments are different, and we have to, if you want to improve the efficiency of any farming system or agriculture system, you have to consider the environment. And based on that environment, you have to adopt the management practices and also the genetics, which can be more beneficial for this kind of environment. Similarly, GII based crops, like we also use remote sensing data, like this is one of the for Africa because ICRISAT is very present in Africa. So where are my crops? What are the soils? What is the climatic conditions? What kind of database? So all this background exercises we do to understand this kind of analysis. So when we do, researchers do a lot of background analysis, but it's not possible for every user to go in that depth. So then we also take this kind of activity where we translate this gained knowledge into easy accessible tools. And then that will be the true sense of agriculture research if it can reach to farmers in easier way. So many of the technologies has been developed and it is not adopted or not very user like friendly for farmers, and therefore it has been not very successful. So if we have to empower our farmers, we have to make sure that your technology is simple enough to, like simple example is mobile. So very soon it will be like the way we are working, it will come as a application for mobile, and it will be used for very localized farming system, like farm input optimization. If this is my area, what is the best dose of urea for this particular crop in this particular season? That kind of information farmers will be able to grab it. So coming back to all the, as I mentioned, there are 2 main pillars of precision agriculture: data and technology. So little bit I brief about data, as this is a first lecture. I'm just touching many of the topic, but many of my colleagues and other partner colleagues will be covering all these topics in very detail in different lecture as the training will progress. So in technology, if I have to see, One of the technology we have developed after 15 years of research experience is EasyScan. It is based in Ecoset, Hyderabad, and it has been, it is just for example, I'm quoting this, and it has been, it is one of the open phenotyping platform in world. This much large phenotyping platform doesn't exist anywhere else in the globe. So this phenotyping platform has been intentionally kept in open conditions so that we don't have to mimic the environmental conditions of outside in glasshouse. So plants can experience as they are experiencing the environment in the field. All other components has been taken large precision care to provide the precision in the data capturing. So it has the sensors which are very, very modified, which has RGB inner space sensors are there, dual scan. This platform is getting used for abiotic biotic trait extraction with high precision. It runs 24/7 and it generates the data for 5,000 microplots in just 2 hours. So it's very, very efficient, very large throughput, and also very precise. So just a glimpse of this technology, what it does, it captures the images, it forms a 3D point cloud, and through 3D point cloud with artificial intelligence, we can run different model and we can train the models, whatever kind of models you want. Like you can train the model or the trait which is required. Based on that, those models can be trained. So right now, more than 30 traits it gives in just 2 hours, and we are continuously evolving in this. Like tiller counting was not available for this. So now we are training the models for tillering and many others. So our breeders use this platform to develop the select the lines which are suitable for different. But this is second step. First, we do the environment study. Then we try to understand what are the traits of each environment, what kind of trait can be beneficial for that kind of environment. And then we screen our large germplasm or breeding lines for those traits, and we provide the genetic variation for that trait. Based on that, breeders can make the efficient selection. If we can improve the selection efficiency, we can also improve the genetic gain for that trait in that particular crop. It is also equipped with weather sensors, load cells to continuously monitor the water dynamics, like water evapotranspiration. Weather station has been established to closely monitor the microenvironment of the plants. So all this caution has been taken, but this large throughput plant also spit a lot of data, and we have to establish a system for data handling. If you can't handle the data, then high throughput phenotyping or high throughput any system will fail or it will be stuck. So we took some efforts and we developed a pipeline. This is just a glimpse of the technology. Technology doesn't come alone. It comes with the different components of this, and that is called IoT. And you have to establish a system which can take you from plants to data. So it's just an example of wild chickpea and cultivated chickpea, and you can see those thousands of lines, 3,000 germplasm line, and 3 species come as very clearly distinguished. The domesticated chickpea lines grows very vertically, and the wild type initially they are like crawling and then they grow, and another one is very spreading type. So this type of distinctions can be made in very short time over large population. So what is the efficiency of this technology? So a simple example just to give a sense of this technology, how they are useful. Before this technology is used, 7 season and 5 location data has been generated in multi-environment testing, and we map the QTL. In just 5 weeks testing at LeasyScan, we were able to end up mapping the same QTL in same position. Second high throughput phenotyping platform is for drought study. It is also very large scale, very semi-autonomous, and very precise to know the blueprints of water. So each plant, how much water has been used, and whatever transpiration it has made, whatever water it has used, how much biomass and how much yield has been produced. This very precise data comes from this kind of large phenotyping platform, LycField, and it also is very useful for abiotic stress study, especially for drought. And with this, we have overcome the previous manual system of digging the soil, getting the roots, and studying the root for drought aspects. And this has mapped, and very beautiful information has come out of this kind of system. So with this system, we were able to map, we know now what are the high efficient line, transpiration efficient line or water use efficient lines in the world. And some information came that high altitude lines were more transpiration efficient than lower altitude because of the adaptation. Third, and the favorite one, is the drone. UAV based system is now growing in India. Legislative things has been made flexible by our government, and we are also using it for high scope in different areas. But we are trying to use it for agriculture, which is like the application based. It's not the mechanical application we are trying to promote. We are also trying to promote the functional application of the drones, which can serve for high-end science. So with drone technology, we can translate this all manual measurements into a very digital measurements. It can digitalize the agriculture research and also the agriculture farming. So we are some of the examples of this, like it has been used most so far in surveying, monitoring, land mapping, law enforcement, photography, but drone has much wider scope than this one, and that's what we are trying to do. So in the last week of May, we will have a detailed talk about this drone applications and many unforeseen areas of exploration with drone in agriculture, which will grow in future for sure. One of the example for drone technology, like if for so many years, our Indian agriculture crop improvement programs are devoid of nutrition, because when a breeder take a crop and try to make the process and go from first generation to at least the seventh generation for little bit more stable population, it has very little time, and nutrition assessments will take time. It's a laboratory and chemical based process. So because of this extensive and expensive process, most of the time nutritional traits are not part of the selection when a breeder make from F1 to F7. So sometime back, a decade back, this 2 decades back, this benchtop sensors came, but then again, you have to harvest, dry and grind before going to this benchtop machines. Now we are also working on handheld sensors, but again, you need to harvest and dry. But if we can develop the pipeline for assessment of nutrition through drones, it will be much faster in field. At least if it is not very precise, very ultra precise, I mean, then also it is used for negative selection. At least breeders will be able to discard those which are of lower nutrition value. So this kind of efforts are also part of precision farming research, where we are taking, and these are the just example of different kind of sensors we are using for different kind of traits. So whenever there is some organic components, means if there is a crop improvement program for improvement of protein, starch, fat, oil, oilic acid, fatty acid, fiber, moisture, we use NIRS-based technology. NIRS is the near infrared spectroscopy. It's also Raman-based technology used for liquid kind of assessing this organic trait in liquid. And this mostly range from 2000, 1000 to 2500 nanometer. In this band of spectra, most of our organic component bonds exist, like the carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. C, H, N, and O in different single bond, double bond, all they exist here. And that's why this technology is very useful, very predictive. All this assessment can be speeded up with this kind of technology. So we are using at very large scale for in routine process for all organic component rate assessments. Second is inorganic. There is also a push for biofortified crops, iron zinc promotions, and all those Nutri Plus and Harvest Plus programs has been run based on because of this kind of technology, which is called XRF, which is X-ray based technology, and we are using this technology for all this inorganic, which is in metallic form or in inorganic form. So now this technology, we are also expanding for use of different metallic contaminants or pesticide residuals. Aluminum is part of most of the pesticide residuals. So all this contamination detection also we are trying to optimize with this technology. Second is post-harvest physical grain properties, so which is called computer tomography, CT technology. So CT technology is also X-ray based technology, but in 3D form. And this is very, very new. It has been so far used in medical, but now it is coming in agriculture. And in India, ICRISAT is first to use this technology for different kind of trade. And recently we have a big success in assessing the shelling percentage in groundnut kernel weight, head rice recovery in rice, also chaffiness, and different kind of breakage in paddy without shelling, without husking. So this is non-destructive technology. Whenever even the breeders send the seeds pods, let's say for shelling percentage, we scan and we return it, all their seeds, because we need not to destroy them. We have started this technology now for seed viability, because in gene bank at regular frequency, they have to spend some seed for germination test. But if seed viability can be assessed through this technology, they need not to invest those seeds if viability is still intact, and that can save the seed. The major cost of gene bank is the germination test or multiplication cost. So this can minimize those kind of cost. Last one is Harvest Plus, Harvest Master, which is very gravimetric based sensors, different kind of sensors, very portable. In a normal bicycle, you can tie up and take it to field or stations, and it can be attached with the threshers. You can pour the grains and it will give the moisture, weight, and also the boldness or the bulk density. So this is also very useful technology for different kind of practices and also in value chain system. So some of the efficiency, if I have to show for just small this technology, what is benchtop, and now we are also translating it into mobile sensors. The major challenge with mobile sensors is bringing the efficiency, precision in that. And you can see with mobile sensors also in different subspecies of sorghum, we were able to map the protein content in different location, which has been well established now. Some of the germplasm, what we have measured so far is one nice information came that old land traces which has been collected between 1963 to 1981. You can see they were higher in fat but lower in protein. And the exotic collection, all those current breeding lines are improving their protein and reducing the fat. So this is a good sign that we are moving towards protein improvement. Some of the examples of CT technology, as I was mentioning, the pods with the rice grains, you can see, and you can very clearly see some are, there is like maybe from outside, or some of the pods look very brilliant, but then there is no filter. So this kind of technology is very useful to save time. Harvest Master, as I mentioned, is very useful. It can be also tie up with your thresher and combiners. This is very easy technology. You put the grain and it goes to copper, and there is a small test chamber. We have to only make sure that test chamber is full, and this and then within seconds, like it's just 2 or 3 seconds, it will give all this trade. So just 30 seconds for per sample. This is like with all leverage if you take. So coming back to precision agriculture, these are some examples of technology. Most of my examples are coming from the research station, but there are many technology which are out for farm application, which other colleagues will be summarizing it. But all I mean to say, it's not one technology which can bring the change. There is a series of technology you have to use for every small step if you want to make it more efficient and more cost effective. So like that, in our research program, we have made this kind of series of technology for different steps, for different trade, so that we can use this all technology to produce, to give a more significant output in the research. So with this kind of pipeline establishment, we have a number of lines which goes to field is very less, and number of lines with desired phenotype will be very high. So it will increase this increase the intensity of desired phenotype in field when we are testing in field, rather than using a hectares of a field for selection and ending up in many like tons of data. So if I have to count 10 precision agriculture tools and technology which are going to be very, very key in future are here. Some of them I have briefed you, like GPS system, GIS system, how it is going to be used. Variable rate technology. This is nothing but if your environment is different, then there is no blanket rule for all the environments. So this technology will bring the very customized application rate recommendations for your environment. Then monitoring precision agriculture, yield maps, so that crop insurance, all those can be eased. Remote sensors, auto guidance system, web-based application, as I was saying, and different proximate sensors will be used in value chain system, also in farming practices, computer hardware. This will also trigger the quality-based payment for farmers and also for other side, for buyers. If farmers knows the value of the quality of their produce, they can demand the higher value for their produce. Similarly, on the other side, buyer, if they know the quality of produce, there are a lot of grains get wastage at company gate because they don't meet the quality required for different processing. So that wastage we can reduce, and there will be efficient buying in this value chain system. So this kind of majorly I have touched all, but there will be detailed lecture on this. So at last, I would like to say there is a lot of technology out there, many things, many kind of data is also saturated out there, but you have to see what is the fit for your purpose. It should be precise and need-based. It's not just some technology is available and I bring and try to fit in my environment or my conditions, which is not right way, but other side, vice versa, is the right way. What is fit for your purpose, you choose that one. With this, I would like to thank you all. It was very short and touch, but if you have some question, I'll be happy to answer it. Is that I'm audible? Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am,
Yeah.
you are audible.
Thank you. Is there any questions related to this? Yes, I saw some hands up. Yes, Bhanu.
You can ask her questions in chat box.
Yeah, PPT is very heavy. I'll try to share in PDF form. Um, I'll go one by one. Okay, there are many questions coming. So first is, can we get this PPT? Yes, you will get it. I will share in PDF. How can yes, how can a smallholder farmer can use these technologies? Yeah, so see, some of the technologies which this is first day of your training. In later lecture, lot of technologies will come up, which will be at farm application. But research centers are meant to develop the product which can go to the farmer field. But if we not empower the research centers for faster product development, then also there will be gap will be always there. See, if we see some problem today and breeder try to make the crosses and all this, it takes 3 to 4 minimum or 7 to 8 maximum years, and by the time product comes out, farmers have another kind of problem. So there is a gap of technology in research center also. A simple example, if I have to give, I will tell that plant height. If you are coming from agriculture university or college where you have studied some agriculture courses, you know that if you have to measure the plant height, there is no such technology. You have to take your scale, go to field, measure each plot plant height. So can't we put some technology in research so that this kind of phenotyping constraint bottlenecks can be overcome and we can make this process faster? So whatever I have quoted today, yes, it's true, it is coming from research center, but there are also technology which can go to smallholder farmers. And until we empower the research centers for faster product development, it will not reach to the farmers. So everything is in pipeline, and every component of this pipeline you have to take care. What may be the initial? I will take the another question if it is fine. Maximum people have voted for this. I hope I have answered this one. Second question is, what may be the initial investment made for this technology? Which one? Research centers can make this kind of technology based on the projects, but it need not to go to farmer. It is just to speed up the process of product development for farmers. So there is an investment on this, but then there is a purpose to invest this one. Does ICRISAT has training program on this technology? So far we were not doing, but recently we have started some small workshop. Probably in future we will have some kind of training. on particularly on this technology, but then there are other technology like remote sensing and many other which get organized in very frequent intervals. Please keep eye on the ICRISAT website. You will find the information there for upcoming trainings. Yes, you can get it in PDF. So Richa, to everyone, ma'am, in between you talk about the Raman technology. Can you please throw a light on what exactly it is? Yeah, so NIRS, like NIRS, Raman is also a spectral based technology. NIRS mostly work on solid, like on grains, you can know the protein. On fodder, grinded fodder, you can know the value of protein. But if you have to know the protein for milk, it use different kind of refractants, different kind of technology for NIRS, or you have to use the Raman based in oil if you have to use some kind of assessment. Raman is mostly used for liquid substances. Thank you, Archana. Sanjeev Kumar, ma'am, these technologies are costly, so how can a normal farmer use? I'm again re-emphasizing this technology is not for farmers, but this is for you to learn how technology can remove the constraints, how technology can help us to progress it faster. You have seen those example of lease scan where 5 locations, 5 years, 7 location they have done. It might have costed a lot of resources, also time. But with this technology, it is so fast. So if we know this kind of information faster, we might be able to develop a better product like molecular based breeding. All those kind of things can be faster with this kind of technology. So this is not for a normal farmer. Some of the technologies in later lectures will be available for your learning, which can go to farmer field. Okay.
So with this, I thank you, Sunita ma'am, for a wonderful and knowledgeable lecture. Ma'am have informed you very well regarding how drone work, how sensors are there, how it would be helpful in taking the data and analyzing the data, which would be helpful to the farmers on a large scale. Though this technology is very new and farmers are not having a lot of knowledge, so these kind of training would be helpful for the farming community so that they could acquire how these tools work, and that would be very helpful in increasing the country economy and making the farmer more efficient as well as self-sufficient in taking data and increasing the yield. So thank you, ma'am, from AgriMeet Foundation and from CSGMU for very wonderful session. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. I hope it will be useful for students.
मेरी तरफ से भी बहुत बहुत आभार मैडम, आपके सहयोग से ये ट्रेनिंग हो रही है। आपका इस ट्रेनिंग में काफी योगदान रहा। एक क्रिकेट केस लेके मैं तो केवल आपको जाना, आपने ही सारे स्पीकर्स अरेंज कराए, आपके पूरे सहयोग से इस ट्रेनिंग को हम कर पा रहे हैं। और मैं ये सब पार्टिसिपेंट्स को बताना चाहूंगा कि मैडम साइंटिस्ट तो क्रिकेट में है ही है, साथ ही साथ एग्रीमीट फाउंडेशन की चेयरपर्सन भी है, तो उनका आशीर्वाद हमें हमेशा मिलता रहता है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मैडम इस सेशन के लिए। साथ ही साथ जो क्वेरीज थी हमारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स की, उनको भी आपने रिजॉल्व किया। बहुत बहुत आभार, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। हम आगे भी आपके सहयोग की कामना करते हैं।
Thank you. Only thing I will request that the last week of May, that week session, if you are interested for more detailed information, please attend. There will be 5 more colleagues from my from ICRISAT who will be detailing every aspects of this.
अगेन थैंक यू मैडम। ठीक है, हम सेशन लीव कर सकते हैं।